on your, you can get them, these things.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is really dangerous. This is not something you want to be empowering people to do en masse. And I think, the word democratize is used with technology a lot. We're in Silicon Valley. A lot of people talk about we need to democratize technology, but we also need to be extremely conscious when that technology is dual use or omni-use and has dangerous characteristics.
Just looking at that thing, it looks to me like an old Atari console. In terms of like, what could this be? Like when you think about the graphics of Pong versus what you're getting now with like, these modern video games with the Unreal 5 engine that are just fucking insane. Like if you can print DNA, how many different incarnations do we have to, how much evolution in that technology has to take place until you can make an actual living thing?
Yeah. That's sort of the point, is like you can make viruses.
You can make,
bacteria.
We're not that far away from being able to do even more things. I'm not an expert on synthetic biology, but there's whole fields in this. And so as we think about the dangers of AI and what to do about it, we want to make sure that we're releasing it in a way that we don't proliferate capabilities that people can do really dangerous stuff and you can't pull it back. Like the thing about open models, for example, is that if you have, so Facebook is releasing their own set of AI models, right? But they're, the weights of them are open. So it's like sort of like releasing a Taylor Swift song on Napster. Once you put that AI model out there, it can never be brought back, right? Like imagine the music company saying like, I don't want that Taylor Swift song going out there. And I want to distinguish, first of all, this is not open source code. So this is not, the thing about these AI models that people need to get is it's like you throw like $100 million to train GPT-4 and you end up with this like really, really big file. Like it's like a brain file. Think of it like a brain inside of an MP3 file. Like remember MP3 files back in the day? If you double clicked and opened an MP3 file in a text editor, what did you see? It was just like gibberish, gobbledygook, right? But that model file, if you load it up in an MP3, if you load the MP3 into an MP3 player, instead of gobbledygook, you get Taylor Swift's song, right? With AI, you train an AI model and you get this gobbledygook, but you open that into an AI player called inference, which is basically how you get that blinking cursor on ChatGPT. And now you have a little brain you can talk to. So when you go to chat.openai.com, you're basically opening the AI player that loads, this is not exactly how it works, but this is a metaphor for getting the core mechanics so people understand. It loads that kind of AI model, and then you can type to it and say, what's the kid's, answer all these questions, everything that people do with ChatGPT today. But OpenAI doesn't say, here's the brain that anybody can go download, the brain behind ChatGPT. They spent $100 million on that, and it's locked up in a server. And we also don't want China to be able to get it, because if they got it, then they would accelerate their research. So all of the sort of race dynamics depend on the ability to secure that super powerful digital brain sitting on a server inside of OpenAI. And Anthropic has another digital brain called Cloud 2, and Google now has the Gemini digital brain called Gemini. But they're just these files that are encoding the weights from having read the entire internet, read every image, looked at every video, thought about every topic. So after that $100 million is spent, you end up with that file. So that hopefully covers setting some table stakes there. When Meta releases their model, I hate the names for all these things. I'm sorry for confusing listeners. It's just like the random names. But they released a model called Llama 2, and they released their file. So instead of OpenAI, which like locked up their file, Llama 2 is released to the open internet. And it's not that I can see the code where I can like the benefits of open source. We were both open source hackers. We loved open source. Yeah. Like it teaches you how to program. You can go to any website. You can look at the code behind the website. You can, learn to program as a 14-year-old, as I did. You download the code for something. You can learn, yourself. That's not what this is. When Meta releases their model, they're releasing a digital brain that has a bunch of capabilities. And if that set of capabilities, now just to say, they will train it to say, if you get asked a question about how to make anthrax, it'll say, I can't answer that question for you, because they put some safety guardrails on it. But what they won't tell you is that you can do something called fine tuning, and with $150, someone on our team ripped off the safety controls of that model. And there's no way that Meta can prevent someone from doing that. So there's this thing that's going on in the industry now that I want people to get, which is open weight models for AI are not just insecure, they're insecurable.